आई थिंक फॉर मी द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट रीजन टू मेक अ फिल्म इज कि जो पहले बन चुका है उसके आगे मैं कुछ लेके जा रहा हूँ, पुश कर रहा हूँ या नहीं. दिस इज वॉट इट लुक्स लाइक वी आर ट्राइंग टू से, बट इसके पीछे छुपा हुआ एक्चुअली क्या बोल रहे हैं. देयर इज अ जर्नी दे थिंक दे आर ऑन, बट देयर इज अ जर्नी द ऑडियंस इज सीइंग देम ऑन.
आई एम भावना सुमाया and we are back to our show Meri Kahani. Today we have a filmmaker, a young filmmaker whose cinema, whose writing is path-breaking because he is irreverent, he is rebellious, and he is doing what the Gen Z is thinking while others are just planning. He is presenting to us a different world, a contemporary world, which is sometimes unsettling, but it is very interesting. Welcome to the show, Kanu Behel. Everybody knows about your film Titli. Everybody knows that you wrote the screenplay of LSD. And everybody knows that your film Dispatch has just been released on the OTT platform. I am curious to know your entire journey. I know you come from a family of actors. Both your parents are actors. When did you first get conscious of the fact that your parents are both actors and different from the parents of your friends?
First of all, thanks a lot for having me today here. Actually, it's really hard to say. I think even before I got conscious of them being actors, I was, I think, very early on conscious of the fact that this house has something to do with film and theater and stuff like that. And, you know, that there are just a lot of people in this house all the time. And, I mean, my earliest memories are of growing up, you know, waking up in a theater wing. Like my mom is performing on stage and I've just been, she thought I was asleep, but I've woken up as a 5-6-year-old. And then, you know, I later on, you know, once I turned 9, 10, we moved to Delhi. And she used to take me to Shakuntalam a lot to watch a lot of films with her. Just me and her. Dad used to be busy. But, you know, I remember seeing 10 Commandments with her. I remember seeing Ben-Hur with her. And somehow Ben-Hur देख के मेरे दिमाग में वो chariot race बिल्कुल छप गया. Because that man was getting crushed under the wheels. But I think even at that age, because I had seen my parents shoot some stuff, I had this weird realization that this is not true. This is not real life. And so I was even more fascinated because I was telling myself, oh, if this is not real life, but it feels so much like real life, how has someone pulled this off, you know? So there were a lot of moments like that while I was growing up where I was, I think, figuring the lay of the land in this house, कि कुछ तो ऐसा सा ये लोग करते हैं and they are trying to be hyper real. But of course, you know, in hindsight, they had their own idea of what a performance is. And to me, in hindsight, it feels a little too dramatic for my taste. But yeah, the fact that they were playing with really interesting stories and really interesting characters, they eventually turned out to be a writer-director duo. Frustrated actor थे दोनों, actor ही थे, father National School of Drama से थे, करनी एक्टिंग थी लेकिन उनको काम नहीं मिल रहा था जिस तरह का उन्हें चाहिए था, उन्हें करना था. So they said, let's write something for ourselves. And so she started writing and he started directing, and together they started producing. And eventually they got popular more as a writing directing duo, but they still kept on acting in whatever they were making. And so as a result, I was assisting them and doing small bit parts in what they were doing by the age of 12. Like by the age of 12, I was a full-fledged AD on their crew.
So were you going to school or were you going on the sets, or were you doing both?
I was doing both. I mean, school to pura. I mean, my mum also used to teach in the Department of Theatre and Television, Punjabi University, Patiala. So she was the youngest professor. So that side of the family has a huge
academics.
And a huge stress on you have to have like a really strong academic base. So I actually have a double masters. So, but ये सब parallelly चल रहा था. मतलब अब कभी गर्मियों की छुट्टियां हैं, स्कूल की छुट्टियां, तो I am always working with them. छुट्टी वुट्टी का सीन नहीं था. स्कूल है तो स्कूल है. School के बाद then other stuff is happening.
When did it really sink in that you're not going to take a regular 9 to 5 job and you're going to be doing what your parents do?
You know, I went through a phase, as I said, I started assisting them at about 12 और 12 से लेके I would say about 17 तक 4-5 साल मैंने काफ़ी काम किया, देखा, and I started developing this, you know, aversion for everything because I saw that they were working so hard. So hard मतलब आप ये सोचो कि कभी कभी उनका शूट 72 घंटे कंटिन्यूसली चल रहा होता था विदाउट स्लीपिंग, विदाउट अ ब्रेक. And so I was a kid and I was like, this is way too tough and I don't think I want to do this. तो I think 15, 16, 17 तक मेरे को थोड़ा सा एक विरह हुआ उससे. But I think then a couple of years later I discovered international cinema for the first time. I ended up seeing a bit of Kieslowski and then I moved on to Kiarostami and then I discovered Kubrick. Kubrick actually was much later actually at film school. But I discovered 2 or 3 really interesting filmmakers and I started seeing that and I said, this is really interesting. If this is also out there, then I think this is what I'm attracted to. And then I think I was fortunate because within that household was the collective knowledge, wisdom of Acha Film School. You can get properly, you know, you can study this and how the history of cinema is important because at the end of the day, you're eventually in conversation not only with what is coming after, but with what has gone before. So you need to know kya ban chuka hai. Otherwise, you know, you're like a blind man in a dark alley. So that fortunately was interesting. I knew the possibility of film school. So then once I discovered international cinema, then I think I started making up my mind saying, okay, this is very interesting. I think I want to do something around this. Then I got obviously very disappointed because when I started researching, I realized कि ये तो फिल्म स्कूल तो पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट होता है तो ग्रेजुएशन करनी पड़ेगी. मैं तो 12th के बाद रेडी था सीधा जाने को, बट देयर इज नो गुड अंडर ग्रेजुएट कोर्स. सो देन आई हैड टू sort of wait it out for 3 years. So then I said, might as well not waste those 3 years. Then I did my bachelor's in business studies. I thought, let me sort of get an insight into that other side.
Which is important.
Yeah. So then I did my graduation. Time pass hi tha, but I was doing other stuff which was ancillary and I thought it'll be additional ancillary knowledge for what I want to do. वो करके फिर मैंने फिल्म स्कूल में अप्लाई किया. वहाँ से फिर मैं सीधा SRFTI चला गया.
Was it easy to get a...
Not at all. Actually, I was also a very overconfident kid at that point of time. तो मुझे तो उस समय पे लगता था कि अब तो मेरा इंतज़ार हो रहा है. मैं दूंगा और वो मुझे बोलेंगे आप कहाँ थे, आइए. हम तो आपकी वेट कर रहे थे.
सही है.
तो मेरा थोड़ा घमंड टूटा because I applied to FTI and SRFTI both. And in the first attempt, I cleared both writtens और मेरा इंटरव्यू SRFTI में हुआ. तो मैंने एडिटिंग के लिए अप्लाई किया था. तो मैं गया एडिटिंग में. आई वॉज इन द फाइनल राउंड ऑफ माई इंटरव्यू एंड द लास्ट क्वेश्चन, देयर इज एन इंटर डिपार्टमेंटल इंटरव्यू, देयर इज अ नेशनल पैनल, देयर इज एन इंटर डिपार्टमेंटल इंटरव्यू. तो इंटर डिपार्टमेंटल इंटरव्यू में जो HOD थे एडिटिंग के, उन्होंने बोला आपको क्यों करनी है एडिटिंग. तो आई वॉज दिस ग्रीन हॉर्न एंड आई सेड सर मुझे तो डायरेक्ट करना है बट मैं एडिटिंग भी सीखना चाहता हूँ, तो मुझे एडिटिंग करनी है ताकि मैं एडिट भी कर पाऊँ. तो उन्होंने बोला आप फिर ऐसा करो, आप बाद में मिलते हैं और whatever, आप जाइए. Because obviously they didn't want a director to, you know, be in the editing department. They wanted editors. So I realized that
seat to be taken up
by
somebody who was doing a time pass.
Absolutely. जो editor बनने ही नहीं वाला उसको आप क्यों, you know, वो करोगे. तो so that whole year became a sort of an eye opener for me. And the next year I applied again. Next year मेरा FTI written भी clear नहीं हुआ. But fortunately, SRFTI, then I got through. Because in my head, I had only given myself that 1 year. I had told myself, इस साल हुआ तो ठीक है, नहीं तो मैं, then I'll learn on the job, whatever. But I think I was really fortunate. SRFTI is quite an exhaustive, they have 3 writtens, they have 2 interviews. So it's like a 5-day selection process. But in the second round, I had then applied for direction the next year. And then I got into direction and screenplay writing. And that changed a lot for me because the next 3.5 years just, you know, opened my mind to so many other possibilities.
When did internship start happening? You started assisting, no?
Right. You're saying after film school. It was almost right after film school, you know. I think I was really lucky because...
You knew Dibakar?
Not at all. So that's a little bit of a story. What happened was actually one of the critical things that happened at film school was that there was a very strong documentary movement that was happening while I was there. हमारे एक एडिटिंग के ही मैं काफ़ी टाइम एडिटिंग डिपार्टमेंट में ही रहता था, इवन दो आई वॉज अ डायरेक्शन स्टूडेंट. तो हमारे एक एडिटिंग के HOD थे, नीलोत्पल मजुमदार, ह्यूज डॉक सपोर्टर. तो वो बहुत सारे डॉक फिल्म मेकर्स को ला रहे थे, एंड आई स्टार्टेड सीइंग अ वेरी डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ डॉक्यूमेंट्री एट फिल्म स्कूल. अ मच मोर ड्रामेटिक, interesting version of documentary, not like our factual Doordarshan-esque, जो उतना ही exposure होता था. And so that bug started biting me, the doc bug, because I was like, wow, you can do docs like this and they can be so amazing and entertaining and not just drab. So what happened was that I started shooting a little bit of an idea for a doc that I had, because there was a pitching that happened in final year.
Okay.
तो वो सब हो रहा था. तो उसी समय दिबाकर met one of my editing HODs at FTI, because Dibakar was looking for an editor for Oilaki. So and Shamulda, he was my mentor at film school. He was they were talking about Shamulda editing Oilaki. And so Dibakar said, मुझे आपका थोड़ा काम भी देखना है. So when he came back to Calcutta, and I was very close to Shamulda. So he said, "Tu Bombay जा रहा है?" I said, "Yeah, मैं जा रहा हूँ." He said, "This is my work. Can you deliver it to Dibakar?" So I said, "Sure." तो कर ही रहे थे, तो मुझे पता नहीं क्या सूझा, मैं भी जो अपना शूट कर रहा था डॉक, वो दिल्ली में ही सेट था, बिकॉज मैं दिल्ली का ही लड़का हूँ. तो दिल्ली में मैंने खुद शूट किया था, खुद ही कैमरा किया था. स्टूडेंट था मैं, तो बहुत रिसोर्सेज नहीं थे. मैंने वो भी उसमें स्नीक इन कर दिया. आई वाज लाइक, चलो एक और फिल्म मेकर को मिलने जा रहे हैं, वील गेट सम फीडबैक, बिकॉज आई वाज एडिटिंग एंड आई थॉट आई नीड मोर फीडबैक ऑन द. सो दिबाकर सॉ दैट, शामलदा का देखा, फिर उसने ये भी देखा. And then he called me and he said, and Oilaki was a Delhi film. So he said, मैंने तुम्हारा काम देखा, बड़ा interesting है, और दिल्ली में तुमने यहाँ शूट किया, do you know the city? And we started a conversation, and I think both of us found each other interesting, and I found the film really interesting. So that's how I ended up being the DA on Oilaki.
But tell me that Shamulda didn't feel bad?
No, he edited the film.
Then it's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, while we were doing Oilaki, I also wrote a couple of songs on Oilaki with Dibakar. So the relationship, just grew very quickly. I mean, I found myself taking on more and more responsibility on the shoot. And I think I was also part of the writing sessions while Urmi and Dibakar were writing. क्योंकि DA है तो आप बैठे ही हो हर जगह. So it grew really quickly, and so by the time it came around to LSD, he was already asking me कि तू लिखेगा क्या मेरे साथ. So and I heard the idea, and it was such an interesting out of the box idea. वैसा कुछ हुआ नहीं था पहले. तो I got really excited and I said, yeah, obviously. So on LSD,
I want to pause here and tell you that when I saw LSD, I am somebody, though I am a film critic, I don't like to read too much about any film that I go to watch.
Right.
There are others who do all the reading and go.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know who's done the cameo. I want it to come to me as a surprise. But nothing in my wildest imagination could have prepared me for LSD. And I think I was very uncomfortable. Because there is a side of you that is very contemporary and modern, otherwise you cannot survive in this kind of a profession. But it was disturbing. But even then, I could sense that this guy has a lot of potential. And maybe there are certain things that's making me uncomfortable, but he's addressing and pressing the right buttons. I am curious to know that what were the reactions you were getting for it? Were there people like me? Or were they all people like your Jen who were great with it?
Yeah, so LSD was directed by Dibakar.
Yeah.
I co-wrote it with him, and I was also the chief assistant director on the film.
Right.
And so, yeah, I was very, very closely associated with the film. And the kind of reactions we got were actually, I would say, they were unexpected for us, because हम भी जब film बना रहे थे, we were just really busy in just making the film. We were not thinking about what this would do. We had this really interesting idea. We were obsessed with it, and it was a chotu sa film, really small budget for a filmmaker of Dibakar's stature, post Oilaki Khosla. तो वो कोने में बन रही थी film, and I think that's why we had the freedom to push all the buttons that we wanted. We were really ripping the book on every process and refining it for ourselves. And the moment it came out, it not only did it get a lot of critical acclaim, but also it's became some sort of a sleeper hit on box office, which was, really fascinating
Besides
for
being
us.
a cult film.
Absolutely. So, which became really fascinating for us because I don't think we had fully envisaged either. We were just making the film. We didn't know क्या कैसी लगेगी इधर या उधर, और दोनों ही जगह लोगों को on both sides people were really appreciative of the film.
Yes.
So that became, like it restored our faith in many ways, in terms of what the journeys we were on.
What happened after LSD?
So I mean, more or less, I sort of stepped away for a bit. Dibakar had already, I think, he had the idea for Shanghai, and I remember us having a conversation कि मैं करने वाला हूँ, तू करेगा क्या? And by then I had almost started feeling that I feel like I want to do my own film. So I stepped away and I said, I think I'm going to take some time off to write and then come back to you once I have something. So I stepped away and I started developing Titli and I started writing it. और मुझे 2 साल के करीब लगे वो लिखने में.
ये तितली का आइडिया आया कहाँ से?
उसकी बहुत एक्चुअली शुरू से बोलूँगा तो बहुत लंबी कहानी है उसकी. आई डोंट नो हमारे पास कितना टाइम है, बट एक्चुअली तितली से पहले ना मैंने एक और फिल्म लिखनी शुरू करी थी जो बहुत अच्छी नहीं थी. एंड आई इवन tried to mount that film for a year and a half. And I remember, so after LSD, that's the first script I took to Dibakar. And I remember Dibakar saying to me कि ये तू क्यों बनाना चाहता है? Like, why are you making this film? And I realized in hindsight that after a point I was just too desperate to make a film. And it didn't really matter if I had anything to say. I was just wanting to make a film. So anyway, that year and a half of trying to mount the film and it not working taught me something. Parallel to that, a lot was happening in my personal life. I was going through a divorce. I probably was at my lowest at that point. And so these two things not working and hitting that low, I think, made me take some time away and just sit down and ask myself why I wanted to do this in the first place. I went back to when I was 16 or 15, 16, 17, whenever that switch happened, when I said, oh, I want to do this. And I said, what happened to that guy? So, why did you want to do this? And the answer I got was that I wanted to do this because I wanted to, share something that I had. I wanted to have a conversation with people. And then I said, ठीक है अभी fuck it, अब कुछ भी हो, अब मैं वही लिखूंगा सबसे पहले जो मुझे पता है, something that I know really really intimately, and I will not care if if it gets made or not. That's secondary. Let me just write what I know. And so obviously once you go down that path, you're going back to your own family, how you grew up, and you're plugging into all that you know out of your direct experience.
It's very strange that you said that you were going through many kinds of lows and you were gathering yourself, because when you watch Titli, there is so much anxiety and so many mixed emotions that the protagonist is going through on a demeanor of being in control.
Right.
And nonchalant.
Right.
He's not dramatic at all.
Right.
It is almost scary. So for me, something has resolved today with this answer. वो जो गलियों की कहानी थी दिल्ली की, वो जो लाइफस्टाइल थी, जो वहाँ का वातावरण था, ऐसी फिल्म का नाम मैं तितली नहीं सोचूंगी. तितली मैं सोचूंगी कोई रोमांटिक फिल्म होगी. एंड देन टू वॉच द फिल्म एंड सी द टाइटल तितली, you are getting it.
Yeah.
But how did you conceive the title?
Yeah, so, as I was saying, I started going back to what my own roots were. And then I started examining my own early years, growing up, family. And I had a quite a difficult relationship with my father growing up. It was tenuous in many ways. And I started examining that. And there was some violence there also. And, unbeknownst to me, some of that violence had passed on to me. And I was sitting down and I was saying, my God, how did this happen to me? I was the one who always wanted to escape that sort of violence. तो ये मेरे अंदर कहाँ से आ गई? So that is the seed of where Titli started, with me questioning how did I reach here. And वहाँ से जब मैंने सोचना शुरू किया और लिखना शुरू किया, then emerged this idea of this family. And slowly, as me and Sharat wrote the film and it evolved and we found out what we were talking about. Sharat bhi Delhi se tha, Sharat bhi unhi galiyon se tha. So and he also had violence in his family. So both of us intuitively, the day one we got together to write a film, both of us knew the world. So we started talking about this idea of violence, how it passes from one person to the other person, how it's circular within the family, circularity and violence, और करते 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 परतें खोलते 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 धीरे धीरे it became an examination of family and what it is to have these images pass on from one person to the other person. और लिखते लिखते almost जब हम फाइनल ड्राफ्ट पे पहुंच गए थे तो कोइंसिडेंटली मैं कमल स्वरूप सर से बात करता रहता हूँ बीच बीच में, तो उनसे मैंने एक दिन उनको स्क्रिप्ट पढ़ाई तो उन्होंने बोला यार तू तो ये R.D. लैंग लिख रहा है. मैंने बोला सर वो क्या है? तो ही सेड देयर इज एन ऑथर कॉल्ड R.D. लैंग हु इज रिटन अ बुक कॉल्ड पॉलिटिक्स ऑफ द फैमिली, वो पढ़ो. तो वो छोटी सी किताब है, 25-30 पेज की किताब है, बट इट्स सच अ थिक डेंस बुक दैट आई वाज लाइक ओ माय गॉड, मुझे लग रहा था कि मैं कुछ नया लिख रहा हूँ, बट ये तो कोई 100 साल पहले, 100 नहीं 60-70 साल पहले लिख के जा चुका है ये किताब. सो इन एसेंस व्हाट वी हैड स्टम्बल्ड अपॉन, पॉलिटिक्स ऑफ द फैमिली इन अ वेरी स्ट्रक्चर्ड मैनर was saying almost the same thing, that images actually skip generations and violence actually skips violence या कुछ भी behavior, actually not violence, behavior skips generations and how it keeps on traveling within a family, that image. So that really opened out the final door for us, and that's how the film took shape. And Titli isliye because it was always a coming of age in a way for me, and the metamorphosis anyway from that little caterpillar into this butterfly who is not free by the end, but at least he realizes what is within him. So that sort of that's where we landed.
Selling Titli, finding producer and distribution and everything, was it easy?
I think I was extremely lucky. Because I had a relationship with Dibakar. I could walk up to him and say, and I knew that his worldview as a filmmaker was very similar to mine. तो जब उनको मैंने स्क्रिप्ट दी तो उन्होंने immediately ही resonated with it, because वो भी दिल्ली में ही बड़े हुए हैं, एक अलग कॉन्टेक्स्ट में थोड़े से बड़े हुए हैं, बट है वो भी दिल्ली में. तो ही immediately realized the core of the film and he said यार ये बहुत relevant film है, ये बननी चाहिए और ये अभी बननी चाहिए. So first of all, immediately I had such a strong pillar who was with me on this journey. And he took on the mantle of being the producer, finding financing. Eventually, Yash Raj came on board, so that became another strong pillar.
Very big thing.
Yeah, and then sort of we were a smaller film, in the larger scheme of things.
But for Aditya Chopra to believe in it and to take it on was a big, big feather in your cap.
Absolutely.
What happened after Titli?
I mean, things sort of exploded a little bit.
You had a fund of stories already written, or you were writing and shopping for a...
I'm always working on 5 to 7 different things, but the thing is that आप जैसे जैसे कुछ बनाते रहते हो आप खुद भी grow करते रहते हो. So most of the things very naturally fall by the wayside. So pre-Titli I had 2, 3, 4 other things that I was working on, but after having gone through the full experience of Titli, it being at Cannes and traveling with the film, meeting a lot of people, you also grow up, you're maturing a bit more. I realized that जो पहले मेरा impulse था बनाने का अब वो नहीं है. I'd rather do something in a slightly different vein. And so then that's when I started asking myself, okay, what do I feel about strongly? What do I want to do next? And somehow the seeds of Agra started growing inside my belly, because I realized that there was a certain sexual repression that I had felt as a young boy, man, while growing up in Delhi. And वो सिर्फ मैंने नहीं फील किया था, वो मैं बहुत सारे मेरे उम्र के लड़कों में अपने आसपास वो देखा था. एंड आई स्टार्टेड थिंकिंग एंड वंडरिंग कि यार क्यों था ऐसा, क्यों था. एंड आई स्टार्टेड टॉइंग विद द आइडिया एंड आई वाज लुकिंग फॉर अ ब्रेक थ्रू बिकॉज आई वाज लाइक, you know, there are many films that have been done around sexual repression, sexuality. What is the new thing that I have to say? And around that time I remembered an image of how I could never close the door in my house. You know, even as a 19, 20, 21 year old, आप कुंडी नहीं लगा सकते या बंद नहीं कर सकते
कमरे की.
हाँ, I was not allowed. So I had no privacy. To the extent that, you know, I'll tell you a funny little anecdote that if I had a girlfriend in college, so if she was over at some point of time, I had to put the curtain on the door so that we get 20 seconds before someone enters the room. So there was that little, you know, atmosphere in the house, and that struck me. And from there emerged the idea of space and how limited space, or how our spaces affect our sexuality, and how our sexual lives in turn affect the spaces that we live in.
Nice.
And the moment I had that idea, I said, okay, this is interesting. This, no one has looked at this from this lens.
Nice.
Maybe a film deserves to be made with this core idea. And I think that's where the journey of Agra began. And of course, then it was, you know, it was hugely scary because second film, you know, you're taking on something really difficult. डर भी लगता है, कभी कभी अवेयर भी नहीं होते हो आप, डर लगता है. Again, you know, I had written 2 drafts. It was not yet what the final film is, and I was in a workshop in Italy with my mentor Molly Stensgaard, who used to edit for Lars von Trier. तो हमारा सेशन हो चुके थे 3-4 सेशन, तो हम चाय पी रहे थे शाम को. तो वो पीते पीते मुझे बहुत स्ट्रेंजली देख रही थी. तो मैंने बोला कि क्या हुआ. तो she said, why do you want to make this film? So I said, I want to make this film because I want to talk about sexual repression and sexuality. So she paused and she looked at me and she looked at me and she looked at me, and then she said, then why don't you do it? So I was a little taken aback. तो मैं चुप हो गया. But then later on, we spoke and I thought by myself and I realized कि ये बोल रही है कि डर मत. She was like, but why don't you go all the way? And then she sat me down and she said, listen, if you're not, it's going to be a tough journey. If you're not ready for it, put it away. Do something else. But if you are going to do it, might as well go all the way. Don't look away. If you're doing this, you are doing this, and then be prepared for what comes with it, because it will come. So then I had a huge crisis. तो वो मैं 1-1.5 महीने वहाँ था, but मैंने लिखना बंद कर दिया. I said, there is a decision to make. And so I didn't write for the next 1.5 months. I came back to India. For the next couple of months I was not writing. 2-3 महीने में बस ये सोचता रहा, करना है या नहीं करना है, करना है या नहीं करना है. And eventually I told myself, no. Something inside me says that मुझे ये फिल्म बनानी चाहिए. जो होगा देखा जाएगा. And so from there I took the plunge. And then I started actually writing without looking away whatever I wanted to write. I was putting Guru, my protagonist, in whatever situation that he wanted to be in, and I was like, I'm not going to be scared. नहीं बनेगी. So
This time you were writing alone.
No, I was writing with Atika Chauhan.
Okay. You take different writers with you each time.
I mean, I don't mind taking the same writer also, but you know, everybody gets busy, and then they're sometimes on different projects. I have wonderful relationship even with Sharad today, after 10 years after Titli, with Atika. Dispatch, I've written with Ishani. It is also interesting to, you know, meet new people and work with new people, but it's not like I'm deliberately choosing a different writer every time.
No, even if you are, it is a good thing because they bring a different flavor and a bit different temperament, a different insight. It doesn't become as predictable like you pushing a button here and him responding there.
Absolutely.
When did Dispatch come to your head? So after this, it was Dispatch?
Yes.
After,
Beach mein I did a short called Binnu Ka Sapna.
Yeah.
Which was at Clermont. So that was an interesting experience too.
Is it difficult to make a short film?
I guess so. I think again I was lucky with the short because तितली के करीब ये साल 1.5 साल बाद की बात है. I met the producers from Terribly Tiny Talkies, and they had seen Titli, and they said, we want to do something with you, but we are only doing shorts. तो तुम शॉर्ट करोगे? तो मैंने सोचा नहीं था उस बारे में. तो मैंने बोला मुझे थोड़ा टाइम दो. मैं गया घर, मैं 1 हफ्ता 10 दिन सोचा. मैं बोला कुछ है क्या? इज देयर समथिंग दैट आई रियली वांट टू डू दैट फिट्स द format.
Yeah.
And then that's when I came up with this idea, and it eventually became like a 8-page script. And I went back to them and I said
8-page script is a 8-minute film.
yeah, but Binnu was 32 minutes, and this I realized, I mean, it became quite a thing. तो वो लेके मैं चला गया, and that is a story of a boy who ends up throwing acid on a girl, and it looks at him from the inside. So it doesn't look at you from the look at the whole thing from the outside saying acid thrower इसने हाय देखो क्या कर दिया. It actually gets inside the head of this boy and tells you what he is thinking. And so it's a 32-minute silent film with a voiceover. You hear what his thoughts are with just images that he's seeing. And so we shot it also in a 1:1 ratio. Because we felt like iska view, he's like a horse with blinkers on. He has his own point of view, and it's a warped point of view, and you know uske beyond उसे कुछ दिखता नहीं है, उसका उतना ही vision. So it's shot in a square format. So that was really interesting for me. I think I was able to experiment with some of the stuff that I want to do with Agra visually. तो वो थोड़ा एक transition period बना, and I was really proud of that film. It was at movie for a while. So I did Binnu, and then Agra became what it became, and I clearly knew ये difficult film है. I had a French producer on board, and the international system is very long drawn. 3-4 साल, कभी 2 साल तो फाइनेंसिंग में ही लग जाते हैं. So we applied for the Cinema du Monde. दूसरी बार हमने एप्लीकेशन करके Cinema du Monde मिला. तो हमारे पास 40% फाइनेंस था आगरा बनाने का, 60% और हम ढूंढ रहे थे जो वो इंडिया से ढूंढना था. So this is now mid 2017, and that financing is going on. So I'm saying, okay, there is a little bit of time before Agra probably happens. What am I doing in the meanwhile? And that's when Dispatch is born, because I meet Ishani, and we discuss about collaborating on something. We get into a room, we start talking, and around that time, you know, Gauri Lankesh is happening. And many other incidents that like that are happening. And I remember both of us sitting in the room and saying, yaar, you know, it feels like something is shifting. Kuch bada change aa raha hai. We are not able to sense exactly what is in the air, but something, it feels like a inflection point. And that's where we sort of, you know, got stuck to this world of journalism and crime journalism, and we said maybe we need to take a closer look into this. And both of us didn't know anything about that world, so we said yaar aise nahi kar sakte. If we have to do this, we need to do research. So we did about a year and a half of research just to get to know the lay of the land again. What is this world? We spoke to a lot of journalists, obviously crime journalists. We spoke to cops, went to a lot of court hearings. छोटा राजन की हेयरिंग्स होती थी, तो लॉयर्स से दोस्ती करी, लोगों से बात करी, वहाँ बैठे रहते थे जाके, यू नो, वीक्स ऑन वीक्स. 3 हफ्ते वो जाके हियरिंग्स में बैठती थी, 3 हफ्ते मैं बैठता था. वी यूज्ड टू टेल ईच अदर क्या हुआ. वी ऑल्सो स्पोक टू सम अंडरवर्ल्ड पीपल, एंड वी स्टार्टेड बिल्डिंग द वर्ल्ड. एंड वॉट स्टार्टेड इमर्जिंग वॉज ऑलमोस्ट एवरीबडी वॉज सेइंग कि अब ये दुनिया ऐसी है कि किसने क्या क्यों कब किया ये अब पता चलना ही पॉसिबल नहीं है. बिकॉज द मोर न्यूज इज गेटिंग कॉर्पोरेटाइज्ड, एंड द मोर पावर सेंटर्स आर बिकमिंग, यू नो, मोर थिकर. You cannot get to the bottom of a story. And we found that to be really interesting, because so many of these journalistic films paint this heroic character who's out to get a story, और फिर सब ठीक हो जाता है end में, you know, वो story break कर देता है and the world is great, which is fine. We want that sort of fairy tale to be told to us again and again. But we said, yaar, if this is the truth, and if this is what people on the ground are telling us कि अब नहीं पता चल सकता, भूल जाओ, कौन कहाँ है पता ही नहीं चलेगा. So that became a really interesting diving point for us. external diving point. So we said, okay, why don't we attempt a film जिसमें पता ही ना चले eventually. है आप कहीं निकले हो, but अगर नहीं पता चला तो नहीं पता चलेगा. So that became one pillar. But then we also, started having larger discussions about, अच्छा ये लोग foggy बोल रहे हैं, obtuse बोल रहे हैं, बोल रहे हैं system ऐसा है. तो ये system क्या चीज़ है? कौन है ये system? Where did this system come from? And that's when we started talking about the individual. Because I remember Ishani saying to me कि system तो तुम हो. And I said, हाँ system तो तुम हो. तो हम ही हैं system. तो हम हैं, तो then we started discussing what is the individual's responsibility within this system. And if we are ending up with this system, if we are creating this system for ourselves, which is warped and which is fucked in many ways, then we are partly responsible for it. So that then came the internal core for the film, which was that, okay, then let's have a guy at the center of it who is partly responsible for the world that he's creating,
And it's inspired from a real character.
I think it started out maybe somewhere, but we realized while we were working on it that the story, the larger thing that we were trying to say was much bigger than any one story or any one scam. So
how have the media world reacted to it?
I guess we'll start to find out now.
Once the reviews come out.
Yeah, once the reviews start coming out. But we'll see. I mean, it's a very unusual film for India also because यहाँ पर इतना हमारी ऑडियंसेस, जर्नलिस्ट, क्रिटिक्स, आप कोई भी बोल लीजिए, सब लोग इतना ट्रेंड हैं स्टोरी और प्लॉट को फॉलो करने में और उसके पीछे रहने में और उसकी ज़रूरत महसूस करने में, that really, the rules of story and plot, we more often than not, we are not able to get over it. Because really for me, where the film lies is with your character and with the time and space that the character is in. So, I mean, also in many ways, Dispatch for me, even though I know a lot of people will interpret it as a thriller, but it's more a procedural. It's more a character piece where you really are trying to get stuck with this guy and experience his world and what he is going through and all his compulsions. ये तो मतलब 8,000 करोड़ का स्कैम है या 2G है, that's irrelevant. That's just your impulse to be with the film. But really where the film lies is with that Faustian impulse, with that story of modern cowardice. It is effectively, we are seeing a deluge of spineless creatures around us.
Yes.
So I really also wanted to do a story of modern cowardice, which almost felt like a look into the mirror, so that we can look at the mirror and not just, finish our days with a cold chilled beer saying, हाँ system है, खराब है, and just look out for ourselves. जब तक हम ठीक हैं तब तक कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है. So I also wanted to say with Dispatch कि भाई अगर ये करोगे तो तुम भी इसी की तरह कुत्तों की मौत मरोगे. जैसे ये सड़क पे कुत्ते की तरह पड़ा हुआ है, मरा हुआ है, यही होगा. This is what look at it. If this is how we are going to create our world, then this is going to be the end. So happy whatever, happy Diwali or happy Valentine's or whatever.
Yeah, it's a disturbing film.
Yeah, I mean, but
you make disturbing films all the time.
I mean, I feel like I would like to respect my audience. If I'm asking them to come in and see something for 2 hours or slightly longer in the case of Dispatch, 2.5 hours, if they are spending some money on it, I might as well respect them and not infantilize them and not turn around and say, nahi, simple rakhte hain, whatever. I want to treat everybody as a grown-up adult and challenge them to have a conversation, because films at the end of the day are about a conversation. मैं कौन होता हूँ? मैं तो
Do you see yourself ever making a kind of a Yash Chopra film?
I mean, it's a very tricky question because I really respect him as a filmmaker, और उन्होंने his grasp of relationships, intimate sort of really tender moments between human beings. He's made some incredible films. So in many ways, if I'm able to capture that sort of humanity within my films, I would love to. But also I feel like I want to take the conversation forward. As I said, I would not aspire to be one more of any other filmmaker. I think for me, the most important reason to make a film is कि जो पहले बन चुका है उसके आगे मैं कुछ लेके जा रहा हूँ, पुश कर रहा हूँ या नहीं. अगर वही हो रहा है, then it just sort of is stagnant, and then I don't find myself very interested in sort of pursuing that.
Do you sit in all your editing is also?
Yeah.
So what do you enjoy the most? Do you enjoy the writing part? Do you enjoy the shooting part? Do you enjoy the editing part? Do you enjoy the promotion?
Given the current state of cinema in our country, Bhavna ji, I don't think I enjoy any part anymore. But if you were to ask me to pick, I would say, I mean, shoots are always stressful, really stressful, because as an independent filmmaker, you have very little time always. So I would say I enjoy writing quite a bit, and editing also. If you made me pick, maybe writing slightly more than editing.
Don't find it lonely. You know, when you guys say that you all work in collaboration with another writer, even if that person is junior to you,
Ji.
how do you really divide your work? That you all just brainstorm together and then she does or he does, the assistant does the punching into the computer part?
नहीं, यूजुअली तो ऐसा होता है कि बेस लेयर आप पूरा ग्राउंड वर्क तो साथ में ही तैयार करते हो. रिसर्च कर रहे हो तो आप साथ में कर रहे हो, इक्वली बांट के कर रहे हो कि तुम इस एस्पेक्ट पे करो, मैं इस एस्पेक्ट पे करता हूँ. जब आप हार्डकोर लिखाई शुरू करते हो तो बेस क्रिएट, थिंकिंग अबाउट व्हाट इज द मेटा ऑफ द फिल्म, व्हाट आर वी रियली ट्राइंग टू से, दिस इज व्हाट इट लुक्स लाइक वी आर ट्राइंग टू से, बट इसके पीछे छुपा हुआ एक्चुअली क्या बोल रहे हैं, वो सब जब आप क्रैक कर रहे हो, you're cracking your characters, the internal journeys, their external journeys. There is a journey they think they are on, but there is a journey the audience is seeing them on.
Yes.
So cracking all of that, getting it to set, let's say, the 10-pager or the step outline stage, most of that you're doing together. Once probably you have a clarity of what is the emotion of each scene and how many scenes, you have a broad outline. 40 सीन है, ये सीन में हर सीन की ये फीलिंग है, इस कैरेक्टर की ये फीलिंग है, इसकी है, उसको आपने 30-40 पेज में लिख दिया. Then probably you split and then you decide based on whatever the circumstances who's doing the first draft. So either I'll do the first draft or let's say in this case Ishani will, and then we switch. Then we just keep exchanging drafts.
Okay.
अगर मान लीजिए ईशानी ने फर्स्ट किया तो I'll do the second, then she'll do the third, and so then you.
ये इतना अच्छी तरह से आज तक किसी ने नहीं समझाया. They just say we do it together.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to know, how does it happen together?
Yeah.
You know, I can understand that there is a brainstorming session, that you have a group of writers who are part of it and everybody is giving their gaze. But how is the physical work divided?
Yeah.
You have explained.
Yeah, I mean, if the writing process is about a year long, तो पहले 3-4 महीने तो आप कुछ लिख ही नहीं रहे हो.
सही बात.
You're just preparing the groundwork.
So what next? The dispatch is already, we have to say, on
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So what next? What are you working on?
Just in early development now. I'm sort of toying with a sci-fi stoner comedy, and I'm also developing a really how should I say, slightly bizarre spiritual horror kind of story. Like it's like a doppelganger kind of story.
Nothing for the OTT?
I don't honestly, Bhavna ji, I don't think about theatrical है, OTT है.
वो बाद में देखा जाएगा.
वो फिल्म डिसाइड करती है खुद से. आई थिंक माई फर्स्ट फिडेलिटी इज टू फर्स्ट फाइंड आउट अंदर से आवाज़ क्या आ रही है, क्या कौन बोल रहा है और क्या बोल रहा है. वो करके देन यू जस्ट प्लग इन टू दैट एंड you end up with the creature that you end up with, and then you decide how to bell this cat or bell this creature.
Thank you very much, Kanu, for speaking to us. I have enjoyed listening to you because it is wonderful to get into the mind of the filmmaker and the writer. And when you watch a film, you now understand why he does what he does. Otherwise, we are just giving our judgments on the film. And next time I watch a film of yours, I'm going to make points about when I'll meet you next and I'll ask you those questions.
Lovely.
So, really enjoyed myself.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It was lovely speaking to you.